lumbar spine. When we are standing upright against gravity or sitting upright, we should have a normal lordotic curve. We want to restore that inferior glide so that we can maintain this position, but we also have to have a superior glide of the facets as well. I'm going to take you through a release, stretch, and strengthen that I have found to be best to restore the arthrokinematic movement of the lumbar spine. It will vary depending on the person's problem they have in the back. There are various problems that can arise, and it's different when it is a disc herniation versus stenosis, and I will adjust accordingly. But this is going to be a series that I have used that I find very helpful to restoring the arthrokinematic movement of the facet joints. So I'm going to do a release, a stretch, and a strengthen. I want to release the abdominals. I'm going to release the rectus abdominal muscle. I'm going to release the iliopsoas, the hip flexors, and I'm going to release the lats. So that is where I will begin. I want to use a 4 to 5 inch massage ball. I have a lacrosse ball, and then I am going to use a foam roller to release the latissimus dorsi muscle. So first is going to be to release the abdominals. If we have contracted abdominals, and then we cannot extend and close those joints, and also it pushes on that ligamentous tissue in the cartilaginous disc, and that can cause back wear over time, and that's a large problem. So starting with the massage ball, I'm going to place it right underneath my ribs. So I don't want to be on my xiphoid process, and I don't want to be on the rib. I want to go right below the ribs, starting up high, and I'm going to be kind of in a plank position, but I'm going to use my toes to mobilize my body upwards and downwards. So I'm going to go parallel with the muscle group. Then I'm going to go side to side over the rectus abdominal muscle, and I'm on my left side, so I'm going to do this on each side. Spending 2 minutes to release the muscle and the fascia and going slowly. Then switching to the other side, and a lot of folks may find they have one side that's more tense or tender than the other, and I usually have them spend longer on that side. But 2 minutes for an effective fascia release. So investigating parallel with the muscle and then going perpendicular. After I release the abdominals, I will go into the hip flexor release. Now, I like the hip hook to release the iliopsoas. Lacrosse ball is something that you can start with and that patients can easily use at home. So I want to go and find my ASIS. Right inside there is going to be my iliacus. Now I can find my belly button and go just below and place the lacrosse ball there. The iliopsoas is going to be deep, so the psoas is a deeper muscle, but you can put your pressure over that lacrosse ball and hold that. To add more release, I can lift my leg up and bring it back down. And I just want to investigate that area. So I can start on the psoas portion and work my way down towards that inner part of the ilium to get the iliacus portion. So I want to release the iliopsoas. After I release the iliopsoas, I am going to release my latissimus dorsi muscle. And I'm going to use that with a foam roller. I will be on my side, and I am going to support my head and neck with my hand. Now, the latissimus dorsi goes from the shoulder down in the thoracodorsal fascia, attaches from T7 to T12. So I can do a complete lat release where I start on the back side of the lower thoracic spine, but I want to go down along the latissimus dorsi muscle and go slowly. I want to release both sides, so I roll one latissimus, roll the other. The lumbar spine you want to do on both sides for balance. and investigating any areas of tension or tenderness here. After we do the releases, we are going to stretch. So we've released the rectus abdominal muscle, the iliopsoas, and the latissimus. Now I want to stretch. If you have stenosis, this is not going to be ideal to do, but you can do a abdominal stretch by doing a prone press up, holding for up to 30 seconds to a minute. And if there is low back discomfort, squeezing your bottom can sometimes eliminate that low back discomfort. So that is the abdominal stretch. Then I want to go into a hip flexor stretch. One leg forward, one leg back. If there's a disc problem, you stay upright. If there is not a disc problem, you can come down onto your elbows, holding this for 1 minute and switching to the other side for the iliopsoas stretch. And it will also stretch the inner thigh of one on the leg that's in front. And you're getting some upper hamstring stretch there as well. So what we're trying to do is get the facets to both inferior and superior glide. Holding those 3 times 1 minute. And after the completion of that, I then want to stretch my latissimus dorsi muscle. So to do that, I can use a countertop, and I can hold onto a countertop or the wall, dropping my chest down and getting a stretch into the arms. So I should feel a stretch right under or around my shoulders, and holding that for 1 minute, doing 3 times. So that is the completion of the stretches. Then I want to strengthen the abdominals, the hip flexor, and the latissimus. To do that, I like to use an abdominal wheel. It's not necessary, and if you don't, you can use a surface and slide out and then slide back. But I want to show you with the abdominal wheel. So with this, you're just going to you want to drop your bottom down, but you do not want any arch in the back, and you are going to go out as far as you can, hold it for 10 counts, and roll right back up. And I'm going to use my hip flexor pulling with my knees. I want to use my hip flexor to come back up. So I'm here, and then pulling to come back here. Patients usually need instruction because they'll want to drop their back or they'll round too much. So you want to restore that muscle strength in order to re-educate so your facets are aligned appropriately and then can move and they're stacked well.